Hey guys, so a little bit behind the scenes for you. So I've just got done doing a seminar on week 5, and I'm going to give you kind of a little bit of a snippet of it, where what happened is at the end of the 5 weeks, someone wants to be coached to help with accountability and a little bit. It might take 2 months, it might take 3 months, whatever. So basically what we've done is I'm going to give you part of the video now. In essence, this is like being coached online and how we do it as coaches within Power by Lifting. So what I'm going to do is basically show you parts of the video. Some of it will be from the video guide, some of it will be actually on the screen, what you're going to get to see. Now, bear in mind, I personally have always got a waiting list for clients. So for people that haven't gone, I talk about this in the video, for people that haven't gone through the seminars, it's really hard for me to, in essence, what we talk about in level 5 is break their ego down and allow them to realise there's lots of myths and misconceptions in the fitness industry, and then we can progress forward with learning. So basically what I've done here is the girl who has just finished a seminar, she's gone through the 5 weeks, but she's learned a lot. There's like 2 hours of learning 5 times. She's gone through that, and then in essence I can let her jump the queue, so to speak, because she's learned all that, and then I can just give her accountability at this point because I'm a little bit busy. Now, as the future goes on, depending on when you watch this video, there might be space. If there isn't space with me, you can come and talk to me via social media, via email, via the website, and I can then pass you on to one of the Empower by Lifting coaches who are awesome, and they've been selected from all over the world. Now, basically what you're going to see now is a little bit about how we're talking about coaching and progressive overload. We've mentioned is she happy with her personal food intake, because during Empower by Lifting, some of the notes we had from the seminar go through the tools. I'll try and let you allow you to see that, and you can pause the video. Can you see that really clearly? Is that okay? So what we've got is how we break through the levels of the week. Throughout the weeks. This is level 5, and this is the tools that the guys have learned throughout the whole time. We've basically broken down the myths and misconceptions within the health and fitness industry. We've talked about average weight, where we take the 7 days of weight rather than individual weighing, because we all get freaked out by the daily weighing on the scales, hey? What we do is remove that, and all of a sudden you can see the breakdown throughout the 7 days and what you actually weigh compared to what you think you weigh on that one day. Body measurements, we talk about how to set your calories to the correct level for your personal metabolism and how much energy you use on a daily basis. The metabolic recovery phase, the fat loss phase, the 80-20 rule, which allows you to eat the foods that you love, a bit of chocolate, a bit of cake or whatever, within your daily intake. But because you're doing that, you're not craving anything, which is what I talk about in the video. The 48-hour window of opportunity we go through, where you're allowed to eat food on over a 48-hour window rather than a daily taking, whatever. Meal timing, why it's not important in level 1, 2, but it is quite important in level 4. So we've broken that down. Food volume, so you're not hungry all the time. Habits and ritual setting to make you a better person. Then, of course, we go into detail with nutrition, carbs, fats, proteins, fibre, why fibre is really important to be healthy. We talk about progressive overload and training. We also have the fitness personality types. We've got the detailed planner, is the person that likes to be really detailed with their food on a daily basis or their lifestyle or whatever. And we have the freedom creative, which is me. I can't decide what I'm going to eat until I open the fridge. So you've got 2 types of personality, we go through that. This is what we do through in seminars and with coaching. Then, of course, the icing on the cake is a recommended supplement list of what actually works compared to what the fitness industry wants you to think works. So that's kind of like what we've gone through with these guys. It's taken around about 10 hours of video, of being on the seminar. This particular one, we had a group of people in the room, they've all left now, and we had them on the Skype, the Google Hangouts as well. So we had like a webinar / seminar, because there were people in the room. It was kind of cool. So basically what I'm going to do now is allow you to see how we went through a little bit of coaching, and there were some people also left on the seminar who were interested in coaching, and there were some people in the room listening because they might want to coaching in the future. So here you go, guys. Hope you're going to enjoy this video. Any questions in the room? Everyone's happy? Any questions on the seminar? Everyone's dropped off by the looks of it. So the guys on the recording, sorry you can't ask any questions, but feel free to message the group or post your comments in the powerlifting group. So Danielle wants to talk a little bit about coaching now, which is why I'll end the seminar there. And if anyone wants to just listen about coaching, you can do. I'll also leave the video recording as well for the guys watching the seminar. You can keep filming this, and we'll just chat about coaching and if you want any further help. And then Heather and Rachel, if you want to just listen, it's up to you. So Danielle, you had some questions during the week about where your metabolism is and the fact that you wanted to jump straight into fat loss. So
yes.
After listening to all of that motivational stuff, is that still the same?
Absolutely.
Okay. So is that not egotistically motivated? Is that motivated through your own inner self and your core values?
It is, because honestly, I don't really have a lot of issues with, what people think. I mean, anyone that knows that about me and whatever. I just need to get back to feeling healthier, having the fat off, stopping with the yo-yoing. And honestly, I found this seminar very valuable, but I still am confused on certain levels, and I don't need like total hand holding, but I need more guidance to progress.
It's kind of like what we talked about with the 33%. It's like the accountability just to allow you to pull yourself up to the next level. And ideally, It's like just that check-in once a week via message or a Skype call or just a message on Facebook is to go, right, there's my numbers, this is where I'm at, how do I feel, right, and off you go again.
Right.
That's kind of where the accountability comes in of the essence of why I've brought the coaches on board and why I don't want to do it on my own. Now, I've always got a long kind of waiting list, but mostly the waiting list is people that haven't done the seminars, and I've got to go through all of this. So the problem with the people who haven't done the seminars, I'm not comfortable that they have enough knowledge to then allow you to kind of take you through to the next level, which is why I can't take clients on who haven't gone through the seminars. So you've gone through 8 seminars, because you did 3 first of all. So I know you've got the knowledge now, and it's just kind of fine-tuning the drive.
Like the numbers and, checking in and sort of having the accountability.
The accountability, which is why I said during the week we can talk at the end of the session, because it's like that accountability it's easier for me as a coach to be able to do that to multiple people than teach them all the way through. So that's why I first set up these seminars in the first place, and every 2 or 3 months when the waiting list has got too big, I'll be like, right, let's do a seminar or a webinar. So for you guys in here as well, the same goes. So yeah, because your metabolism seems okay, it looks like we can go into fat loss. So the next question is to go, are you happy with your food intake now over the last 5 weeks since you've been eating a bit of chocolate maybe or a bit of other stuff? Are you internally not craving food is a big question.
I'm not craving food. As a matter of fact, it took me several weeks to be able to even eat as much as I'm supposed to, because I was going from an opposite extreme. So I'm not having cravings, I'm not binging, I'm perfectly content as far as the numbers and all that are. I'm just not content as far as where my body's at.
Okay.
So I'm okay to reduce.
So what might happen is,
because you've had a history of, in essence, under eating, and you had not a lot of carbs, you might go through what we talked about in level 1 and level 2. Level 2 and level 3. I think we talked about it a lot. Is the body recomposition. So you might end up staying the same weight, but then you might gain muscle and you might lose fat. Which is why we use the tools like the measuring your arms, and you're measuring your legs, and you're measuring your waist, to go, actually, this week you've lost. Do you work in inches or centimeters?
Inches.
Inches. Okay, so this week I've lost half an inch, and you go on my waist, but my arms and my legs, they stayed the same, but then my weight stayed the same. So then you can go, oh, body recomposition is happening, which means I must have, regardless of what the mirror says, because we know the mirror lies to us when you look at it. So it's going, okay, so I've lost half an inch on my waist, but I've stayed the same on my biceps and my legs, which means I must have gained muscle. Because a tiny amount of fat lost over your whole body, you're not going to see. Which is a really nice thing to think about. I can't visually show you now. I like to do this with a roll of tissue. If you've got a roll of tissue, and this is like, in your bathroom, every week, if you take off one roll from that tissue, you're not going to see it. And that's what happens with the fat loss. You've just taken away one piece, and eventually, what happens when you've done that every time you go to the toilet in the bathroom? It becomes nothing. So that's in essence what happens with the fat loss, is because you're doing fat loss, not weight loss, you don't see it. And I can prep for a bodybuilding competition, for example, and I literally don't see any change. And it's so fascinating to me. The first competition I did see a lot of change because I'd never competed before 6 years ago. 2 years later I'd competed again. And I was like, I don't see anything happening. But all of these tools that we use, I can see it happening. So it's taking your mind away from it. 2014, I did it again. And I was like, it's so fascinating how I can't see, physically look in the mirror, I don't see a change. Because it's so slow and so progressive and so proper. So it's kind of looking at you and going, okay, so are you progressing without seeing the change, which will be something new for you, and then we can take your measurements and go, are we going through body recomposition, which you probably will do. And if you don't and your everything stays the same, then we can start taking calories away, but at the right level, not dramatically taken away. And the reason I use a pro natural bodybuilder as my coach is I will want to take calories away quicker than he will want me to take calories away. He's like, no, wait, 1 more week. And I'm like, I didn't lose anything. Doesn't matter. Next week you might. And then through next week, I might lose another half a pound. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. And then that's why, because I don't want to hold myself accountable during the last, say, 10 weeks towards a competition. So it is powerful to take the 33% and allow them to help you a little bit. So yeah, in essence, we can start on fat loss straight away by keeping your calories where you are and then looking at your data this week, and we'll fill out the spreadsheet together. What we'll do is we have a OneDrive set up where you have basically an online version of the spreadsheet. I can see it, you can see it, and we can both upload to it. So what happens then is you put your data in, I check your data, and then we go and we talk about the data, and we go, okay, so in essence, we need to take away a bit of calories, or we leave it the same. And then you've got like goals to go to. So it'd be nice to look at your training as well. What's your training like?
Well, it was really intense for a while. The last 2.5 weeks, I think I have a tear in my bicep, so that's been setting me back big time. So the last 2.5 weeks, I haven't been working much upper body at all. I'm doing HIIT cardio twice a week. I'm doing legs twice a week. And I used to do arms 3 to 4 days a week, but right now I have a setback with that.
Okay, so HIIT times 2. And how many days lifting did you say?
Well, right now I'm doing 2 lower body days and I'm actually starting to try and work my arm again.
Yeah. So how many days would you normally do the upper body? 2 as well?
No, upper body 3.
3. Okay. I've got a really awesome physio that I use, and when I get injured, he tells me, never train into pain. If you feel pain, stop when you've had an injury. So it's balancing that. Have I got pain or have I got muscle fatigue? It's like in between. And then if you've got an injury and you start off with 2 kilogram dumbbell curls, that's okay because you've got no pain. If you go to 4 and you go, yeah, that's okay, then gradually increasing it, and you'll be surprised how quickly it comes back after an injury. It's just that progressive overload, what we talked about in week 3. Have you been using that progressive overload at all yet?
Yes.
Did you find it completely a little bit different?
It's different. I just started, playing with that because, like I said, this has been recent, and I'm starting to try and move it again. And I started with very low weight and everything like that because I can't not do anything. It's not my nature.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the progressive overload is different than how I've trained in the past.
Yeah, it kind of comes from a lot of myths and kind of misconceptions in terms of steroid use and training. Somebody who's taking steroids, in essence, can push themselves so hard that they don't need to count reps. They can just go, 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 go. And they could damage the muscles so badly that the steroids help it get fixed quicker. So every time they're training, all they're trying to do is kill themselves. Then the body kind of fixes it. Now, when you're coming from a point of view where steroids aren't being used, we have to use, in essence, volume and progressive overload and be a little bit more detailed with it. Now, if people who were taking steroids also used progressive overload, they'd probably have more gains. So it's something you can put into the gym there and tell the guys who are training, you can push them onto them. If they're gradually increasing all of the weights all the time, not the weight, but the reps and the weight, all the time, rather than guessing, it's kind of where you can gain more muscle. If you speak to the likes of Dorian Yates, Kai Green or Arnold Schwarzenegger, same thing, progressive overload. They got better every single week. So it's kind of going, okay, so I'm going to break my trainer down and make sure I'm doing the same thing every week, and I'm just getting better at it. And that's kind of where we are. When you've got an injury, even more so. So you've got like, I did 8 last week. I want to do 9 just. Okay, it doesn't hurt yet. Great, I can do 9. Then because you've got more fuel now, you might be able to just do more and more and more and more reps and just continue to do more reps because you've got more fuel compared to what you had in the past, which might result in better fat loss because that's what the goal is now. So how about we put a 15-week goal of fat loss and see where we are after that, and we can then adjust after 5 weeks and see if after 5 weeks will be the big telltale sign of whether you're reducing, if you're going through body recomposition where you're gaining muscle and burning fat, or whether we're just going to go down a fat loss phase where we're just losing weight. So it's kind of like allowing that to happen is where we'll go first of all. So yeah, it's a bit of a difficult journey to go down when you've got an injury and you're doing fat loss because the muscle needs fuel to be fixed. So it's kind of balancing that and making sure we're not like causing the injury to prolong because you're reducing your calories, which is something is a bit counterintuitive. You'll think, oh yeah, that's a very good point, you know. So the next thing is how, obviously, how we go down the next route. So I'll basically be setting you up with a spreadsheet. I'll then send you the training book as well, so you can then you can have a template for progressive overload. And something you've just mentioned before about training arms as a day is it's such a small muscle, it's potentially not necessary to do it in one day. It's probably adding it onto what we call legs push pull. So you'll do legs, then you'll do push, which is shoulders and chest and triceps. Then you'll do pull.
That's how my husband does it.
Great, yeah. So then you do pull, which is back, traps, lower back, and biceps, and forearms. So then you've got kind of like a whole area you're doing. So then you've got more chance of growth everywhere, but in a slower level. It's interesting to hear, like, if your husband does it that way, because it's like most people will do an arm day, a leg day, or if they're competing in the non-natural shows, they'll do one muscle per day, which is, it's okay to do that. But if you're going to get better gains if you do more often. You in essence could do legs push pull off, legs push pull off, legs push pull off, and you're kind of doing is it 4 days, 6 days in 8, so you have an 8-day week. You could do legs push off, pull, legs off, whatever you want to do, and then something happens there is you're removing the need to train on a specific day. So that means if you don't feel good, or you've got a meeting, or you're busy, or whatever, you can just remove that day and then train the next day. So I go legs push pull, and I have a day off when I want. So I just go, oh, I'm having a day off today, or I'm busy today, and it just happens to fall onto the next day. So I kind of don't have 2 consecutive days off. I'll just have a day off when I feel like it. And it always falls to about 4 to 5 days a week training. And then when I'm doing competitions, I'll just go a bit more detailed with it and make sure it's the same. Every 10 days is the same, just so the energy expenditure is the same.
But is it bad to have set days only because of the way my life is and my schedule is? It works out better for me. Like if I train, like I typically train Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, sometimes 2.
So then it's going, okay, so it goes back to the bottom of the pyramid where we talk about adherence. So to adhere to your life, you're maybe more of a detailed planner type of person. You need them set days. So then you do that, you know. You think you're more of a detailed planner type of person, hey?
I am, but I also work 7 days a week. I have a son on 2 hockey teams and taekwondo and have a house and a family, you know. So, like, I have to be.
So first of all, well done for getting on the seminar. Some of these people have less of a busy life and can't even get on a seminar because they're too busy, you know. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I get at the gym here at 5:30 in the morning. I'd move my clients back so I can do the seminar, then work, then get to hockey, you know.
Yeah. So it's nice to be able to pass on some of this stuff to your clients now as well. That's really awesome. Even just level 1 stuff, it just will blow their mind. It's quite known already in America, but flexible dieting type of thinking, and if it fits your macros. But we're going a bit deeper than that. Okay, so the next thing is if you're happy to go ahead with coaching for a few months and see how you feel, I'll send you over the spreadsheet. The way to pay is kind of go on a website, empowerlifting.com/coaching. Have a little look through the things there. We've got different price levels. Don't really know what's suited. Make you feel what's suited to you.
Okay.
Message me and see what you feel. It's a nice little click, one button, and it sets up a PayPal automated payment where you can just click it off at any time. And again, if it's a month, great. If it's 2 months, great. You've gone off and I've helped you move forward. The same for anybody else listening here or on a seminar.
But didn't you say it would be like 15 weeks to start like this phase, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying that you don't necessarily need me for them 15 weeks. You might do, you might not.
Oh, I like hand holding.
Okay, so yeah, that's fine. We can do that. If you wanted to do it on Skype calls at whatever time, we can do that, or Google Hangouts or whatever. We can do it that way. So yeah, let's work from there.
Okay, so you'll send me the information and then I'll go online.
Go online, have a look at that first, and then we'll that'll automatically send me an email and stuff, and then I'll set the spreadsheet up and then send you the book as well to have a look. You can have the training template then as well.
Okay.
And you work from that, and then we'll talk from there.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris.
I've just noticed the other two stayed on. Did you have any questions, Heather or Rachel?